Hi, my name is Rambir. Welcome to my channel. And today we're going to talk about a question that I received from a person on Instagram. If you like the content that we share, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we put up new information. So the question comes from my man Sahib.do, right? And he asks, I've been tracking my calories for most food, but when it comes to roti or daal, I have a hard time tracking it on my fitness pal. How do you track the proteins, carbs, fat for roti or daal? So the thing that he's asking about is an Indian food, and roti is basically the tortillas type uh, flatbread that we use in most Indian cuisine. And dal is basically lentils, different types of lentil soups. And so the answer to this is very straightforward. We one way to look at it is what are the ingredients that have calories? So for roti is going to be just the flour, right? So you take the flour, you mix it with water, and then you make it into a dough, and then you cook it. That's it. You put it on the pan, and then it that's it. It's very common that a lot of people use a lot of Indian Indian mothers will put a lot of butter on there. Now, then you want to track that butter if you choose to eat it. Some of us we say suki roti, meaning dry, so no butter, which cuts down a lot of calories. And then as far as dal goes, the two main ingredients that you're gonna have in dal in most dals that have calories are going to be the dal itself, which is the lentils, and then the oil that is used to saute the onions and the spices beforehand. All right, so I'll just give you a simple example. So there's no other calories coming besides those two ingredients in any dal, right? So it's not very difficult when you look at it in that way. And so the first thing that you can do is you can weigh out the dal beforehand. Okay, so you can say, oh, I had 100 grams of dal uh, that I used to make this amount. Okay, um, you're measuring it dry. Another thing you can so that would be the first part, and then that'll give you so dal. The lentils are primarily carbs and some protein. There's not fat in or very much fat in any lentil, and as a matter of fact, we'll pull that up and we can see it. Um, and then the oil that's used to saute the onions and spices and whatnot, that's just oil. So most here's another thing is like remember all oils, butters, fats, rich sauces, mayonnaises, creams, they have a very similar uh, nutrition profile across the board. They're gonna be about 14, 15 grams of fat per tablespoon. Pretty simple. So you can just measure that. So let's say you're putting 3 tablespoons of olive oil in your saute, right? Or what we call the torca, right? So then you would take 3 tablespoons and 100 grams of dal. There you go. You just search it on MyFitnessPal. Now, I don't know if this is the case, but this is typical. Is like in Indian families, like mom's doing the cooking or grandma's doing the cooking. So I don't. First of all, I might not know how much is in there, but second of all, um, it can be a little bit of a issue weighing things when your mom or your grandma is making it, right? So it's good to just kind of first, you can just do these measurements and begin to see for yourself, right? How much is used. It's not that big of a deal. And then you can begin to ballpark. And if you just see your mom and she's like, oh, she typically puts 4 tablespoons, right? ish, and you can measure out 4 tablespoons, and you know, oh, that looks the same, right? Now you kind of have an idea. And let's say that amount of stuff creates, a bowl, a big patila, or what we call a pot, a patila of dal that's going to be eaten by 7 people, right? Or maybe 4 people. You can just kind of divide that by 4. So you're not eating 100 grams of dal, you're actually eating 25 grams of dry dal, right? It's obviously going to be cooked. And you're not eating 3 tablespoons, just for simplicity. Let's say 4 tablespoons of oil was used. You're not getting all 4, you're getting 1 tablespoon, right? So you just divide it by 4. That's one way to do it. That obviously you don't really know if somebody else if you're actually eating a fourth, or are you eating more or less, but it will get you close, right? So that's one way to do it. And then, other stuff that's in dal is like onions, peppers, the spices. Those things don't have calories, and you don't need to waste your time measuring those things. You want to focus your attention on things that actually have a lot of calories, right? So that's how you would do that. And then the thing is, once you start to do it, you begin to develop the skill of doing it more often, of knowing just kind of by looking at stuff. But I would not recommend you eyeball things if you have never weighed or measured anything, because you have no frame of reference, you have no skill. So that's how I would do that. There's other ways, and we'll kind of go look at some other ways to be more precise at another time. But that's one way to do it. And so we'll kind of wrap it up with, like, this applies to every type of cooking. Everything is trackable. Everything is made up of ingredients, right? There's nothing that's like made up of like imaginary ingredients, right? Or like ingredients that change. No, the ingredients are the same. So the other thing you can do is, and this again is going to be helped by actually tracking things. Then you'll get good at it. But one thing that you can do is you can begin to just assign calories. Like, if you have a bowl of dal, one of my favorites, mungi masala dal, it's like this bowl, I eat one bowl, maybe like this big. I might say 2 cups of it. I'll search it online and I'll find something that's approximately 400 calories ish, right? And that's going to be primarily carbs and protein, primarily carbs. So 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories. Remember, this is important math. 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories always. 1 gram of protein is always 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is always 9 calories. So that'll probably be like 60, 70, 80 grams of carbs, and probably like 10, 20, maybe 30 grams of protein. And so I know, okay, that's what that is, and then I can track it that way. And then roti, unless it's like giant, I'm assuming it's like a normal size roti. And so I usually, you assign a roti, say 150 grams or 150 calories worth of carbs mostly, right? So you might say that's going to be about 45 grams of carbs for your roti. And then if you decide to put butter on it, you got to weigh that or measure it, like a tablespoon of butter, whatever it might be, right? So that's that. If you like this information, if you have questions, please let me know. And if this is helpful for you and you want more information like this, please subscribe to our channel, and we will do more videos like this.